You ever done that? It's amazing how it leaves the impression of the, I guess like the face and everything still.
Just stretched out.
Yeah.
We're on. You're on. Hold on. We were on. This thing just went kaput.
Never died.
Let's try it.
Okay, now we're ready. All right. We will call the October 28th Finance Administration Committee meeting to order. Public session, no one is here, so we will keep moving on. Presentation and discussion items, update on current projects. Sir.
All right, this was sent out as part of the agenda packet a few days ago, so I'll get any questions either now or after. I'll be happy to answer those. The only item that I really wanted to touch on at this time is on the second sheet, the one with the green and white rows, and it's item D. And this one that we've spoken about before, the consent order rehabilitation project for the gravity sewer system. That one is beyond the substantial and final completion dates as stated in the contract. But also due to the sewer overflows that we had associated with that project back in September, we began implementing, and it goes back to earlier this month, that we started requiring a full-time inspector to be on that site for Ardura. We asked that they do that, and they have obliged, and we will receive a contract amendment request from them for an additional $27,000 for that, the additional 20 hours per week of construction observation. We have time that we have associated with it as well. So I received that amendment, draft amendment contract from Ardura yesterday. Too late to get it on this agenda, but we'll need to, they've been performing this, I guess, really at their own risk without a contract since earlier this month. So I'll bring that to the November 3rd meeting. The source of funding for this will be using the funds that are going to be withheld from that project. As I've stated again, that they're in the liquidated damages phase of that project. So that'd be the source of funding for paying them to do this additional work. Other than that, I think everything's going well. I think they have brought additional crews in with that project to help out. I'm not sure if you've seen some improvement. I think they've been doing some right-of-way restoration. I think that they are close to, if not finished with the relining. There's a few lingering items the engineers are evaluating. I think one of the the sleeves was a little bit short, so they're trying to come up with a solution for that. Looking at some final CCTV footage. The manholes, I think they're still continuing to do the rehabilitation on the manholes while they are in the process of cleaning up. We were hoping that all of that would be complete before the wet season started, but it kind of is what it is now. So any questions about anything with that or any of the other projects that we do have going on? Mr. Parrish, has, from Westminster standpoint, has things been, have you seen any improvements over there with some of the areas of concern that you brought to me before?
I've not been out there lately. I need to go back and just see, but I've not really seen them around a lot.
Okay.
Because there, for a while, we were seeing a lot of activity, but I'll go back out and look and see.
So, as you go out there, because I know you guys had some easements that were disturbed, just you know, take pictures or call me, let me know, what you want to make sure that is included either in the now, you know, the current phase or in the punch list, if you notice anything. They have a list, but I want to make sure that all your areas of concern are included as well. And I think either you or Mr. Bronson had mentioned that they had left that there was some material that had been left somewhere that may be part of that. We want to make sure that that is removed as well.
I'll give it to Taylor, because those were his, his easements, the electric easements that were out there that had damage, so.
So any questions about any of the projects?
I know that there's one right here, but just curious, I know y'all were talking about going back to RIA so you could use the rest of the funding.
Mhm.
Did you come up with a project and get it into them?
Yeah, we're putting that back out for bid, so we're in the process now
So,
of putting something together, you know, with them. We're working with RA to find out, because we're considering procuring the rings and covers for the manholes, because there's such a lead time for those. So we're making sure that if we do go that route, that we comply so that we can be reimbursed for those expenses, which means we have to follow their procurement policy. So Kyle, you know, with us is working directly with Angie Metlin and Priya, the engineer, to make sure that we don't overstep and that we have everything we need to do in writing for that approval so that we can make it happen. And if we can't do it, then we'll just put it on the contractor to procure those. But it'll lead to it being extended a little bit longer. Because it's 9 to 12 weeks is what we're being told on those castings.
Any other questions on current projects? All right. The action items, the September and year-to-date reports.
That's also been sent out. Stevens, since he's out several days in advance of the meeting, to all of the commissioners. It's also included in the agenda packet. So that's included in there. If you have any questions, I guess this one will complete Q1 of this fiscal year.
Everybody had a chance to review. Were there any questions?
And I believe, too, I think there were some questions at the last committee meeting that we had, so I did send those
You did.
responses
Yes, you did.
out to address those, so hopefully that satisfied the questions that you guys had at that time.
Yeah, that was helpful, thank you.
I mean, and it was more revenue than we anticipated, so it wasn't a negative. We were just curious.
Right, oh yeah, and I think the big one had to do with, if I remember right, the sewer south, that one was the one I'm thinking of. We just had no idea what to expect from them.
Sure.
All right. Is there a motion to accept the reports as presented?
So,
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any questions, discussion? All right, all those in favor of accepting the September and year-to-date reports, please say aye.
Aye.
None opposed? All right, action items to recommend to the board, we have none. And then executive director's discussion compliance matters. Sir?
All right, just a few things here. The first of these, if you do go back and look at row 1 on the project sheet, it's not really a project that we have, but it's just a way really to kind of remind me of the timeline that we have to keep, the report that we have to provide to DES that's due in, I believe that the date is the 11th of May and the 11th of November. So we've got to provide them with an update as to where we are with the consent order. The work that had taken place during the previous 6 months, as well as what is coming up. And as part of that, this had been sent out to the utilities directors and the city administrators as well. I think it was last week, if I remember correctly. It may have been the week before, but just a reminder that the cities also will have a report that's due to us that reflects kind of the same thing. And that goes back to that corrective action plan that the cities developed during the 2024 year. And I think some of that has been, I believe we've received one from Westminster already that I believe Mr. Paris and Mr. Bronson had signed, but it's due from the cities to us by the end of this week. And we attach that to our report that we send down to DES as the requirement for us enforcing our sewer use regulation was conveyed to us pretty heavily by DES when we went into this consent order. So that's item number one. And of course, if you have any questions, you can let Allison McCullough or myself know if you need any help with anything. But it's just a standard, simple template, bullet point list would be fine getting that to us. And just email that to Allison. Next is the audit. That will be presented by Jason White at our November 3rd meeting next week. I believe he has finished that up. And along with that, do you believe that we'll have the final fiscal year 2025 financial report ready for presentation? And
I have to
possible
ask him if he
approval?
can get me those adjustments right away.
So we hope to have that on the agenda as well. That's the one financial report that does go to the full board for consideration as opposed to the F&A committee. So if we're able to get that completed in time, that'll be on there as well. If not, it may be at the December board meeting. But those are really the only two things that I have to mention.
All right. So we are down to committee members' discussion. Is there anything that we can think of that we would like to be placed on future agendas? Any questions, ideas, future projects? Nothing? All right. Well, it's not a record, but we tried. If there's nothing else, we will call this meeting adjourned. Is there a motion? All right, I just called it adjourned. We're done.
So what is the record?
I think it was 8 minutes.